In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys how I manage my money. Not a lot, because I'm in the military. And the mistakes I've made so far in my life so you guys don't have to, and also because most Americans kind of suck with managing money. You might be wondering, why the hell should I listen to you? I just read a Boots Guide to Financial Basics by Sergeant CONRAD CORTEZ. My credit score is higher than an average 21-year-old, and I kind of also have more money than the average American saved up. So you feel me? I think I know what I'm doing. But you guys, do your own research. This is only how I manage my money. The first mistake that I made with my money was that I didn't save any of it. So this goes back when I was in high school. I was working at Six Flags. Your boy was promoted to a supervisor. Pretty proud about that. When it came to the end of the financial year or season, fiscal year, I got that little letter from the IRS and it said that I made $10,000. I had nothing to show for it. I did not have $10,000 in my bank account, and I was still kind of in the same situation. My quality of life was not improved because I feel like $10,000 at that time was a lot of money, and I didn't really see it at the time. You could say I had a car. If you can't afford the gas to put in your car is kind of worthless. So my first mistake was not saving my money and not having anything to show for my money. The first thing I do when I manage my money is I set goals for myself, because goals are important. They are going to keep you on track and accountable for where you want to be in life. So by the age 25, I want to have $50,000. By the age 30, I want to have $100,000. That's gonna keep me on track, and that's gonna make sure I keep myself accountable and saving money. Next thing I do when I manage my money is that I make a budget and I stick to it, because your budget is literally your bread and butter. Your budget is gonna show you what's coming in and what's coming out. And if you guys don't know what's coming in and what's coming out, how can you track your finances? How can you manage your finances? A budget is going to allow you guys to see how much money you guys have left after paying all your bills, how much money you guys want to put towards savings, how much money you put towards this or that. The book talks about this as well, and I cannot stress this enough, but it's important that you guys set a realistic amount of money left over in your guys' budgets that you guys are going to spend, because if you guys don't set a realistic amount, you guys are gonna end up overspending. Make a budget. Bottom line, it is your bread and butter, and make sure you live below your means. I use Google spreadsheets because I like to have full control of everything. The next way I manage my money is by saving it. You have to save your money. You can't just spend everything you make. Sergeant CONRAD CORTEZ hits it on the head when he says the best way to save is to live frugally and come up with a game plan. Because how can you buy a house? How can you buy a car? How can you save for retirement? What if you have emergency expenses? Saving your money is crucial. Before I made a budget and saw how much money I could actually spend, I was really cheap. I don't really recommend that, because your quality of life is more important than saving pennies. Don't do it, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth the 25 cents for not, just don't do that. I also automate my savings to the point where every time I get paid, it automatically gets taken out on my paycheck and put into a savings account, so my brain doesn't even feel like I lost anything. But I also hate saving money. I actually don't encourage saving money. I save enough money for 6 months, or just enough to get me a decent car in case my car explodes out of nowhere, and then I just invest all of it. I don't like the idea of saving too much money because of inflation. If you have money sitting in a bank, it's gonna depreciate due to inflation, which basically means the rate of inflation is more than the interest that the bank is paying you. So you're actually losing money. That $100 bill in your bank over the course of a year is going to be less than $100 by the end of the year due to inflation. So what I do is I invest all the money that I would save after I save, to a certain point, and I put it all into stocks, crypto, ETFs, S&P 500. Before I continue, I just want to say all the topics covered in this video are also included in a Boots Guide to Financial Basics by Sergeant CONRAD CORTEZ. He personally sent this book out to me, and I cannot recommend it enough to any new soldier who has no idea or just want to learn more about basic finances and personal finances. This is a great start. It's a short read. Literally, I only read it in an hour. It's also available as an Audible, so if you guys just want to listen to the book, you guys can do that too. So if you're one of those people who have not read a book in 6 months, go get the book. Link will be in the description below. Next, I'm going to talk about investing. Now, investing, there's so many types of investing. There's real estate, stocks, crypto, and I want to stress that I'm not a financial advisor. So you guys do your own research. Like I said before, I'm only telling you guys what I do. Investing is scary though. Do not invest your money if you guys do not know what the hell you're doing. I've lost so much money, and I just look at them as life lessons, but bro, I've lost so much money. And if it wasn't for the army, bro, I'd be homeless right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. But I'm going to tell you guys how I invest my money right now. Stocks that I'm currently investing regularly into is Google, Amazon, and a company called Plug Power. Cryptocurrency that I'm currently investing in regularly is Ethereum and Polygon Matic. I'm also dibbling and dabbling into other stocks and cryptos, but those are the main ones that I regularly invest in. I also do long-term option contracts. And boy, I also lost a lot of money, but I also made a lot of money, bro. Investing can go either way. Sergeant Cortez says you should have a timeline on all of your investments, whether it's 1 year, 3 to 5 years, or 10 plus years. You guys have to have some sort of timeline on when you actually want to take the money out of your investment. You put in money in Google tomorrow and you wait 5 years, you would have a lot more money than you did if you took it out the next day. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. I highly recommend you guys do your research on it. And if you guys don't want to do all that research, just invest into S&P 500. Do not have your money sitting in a bank losing value due to inflation. The main reason I invest my money is to beat inflation. I also believe investing into the stock market or into cryptocurrencies is the fastest way to gain wealth if you're not already wealthy. I also plan on getting into real estate, but I'm not there yet, so stay tuned. The most important investment, though, I highly recommend you guys to do is invest in yourself, whether it's education, your health, working out. Health is wealth, bro. If you're in the military and you have free time, go to college, invest in your education. Not only are you gonna gain more education, you're also gonna increase your potential salary and open more doors for you. So invest in yourself. Next thing I'm gonna talk about is credit and credit cards. I am a firm believer in using credit cards. I believe whenever you can use somebody else's money to buy things, do it. Now, some people think credit cards are scary, stay away from credit cards, but I believe if you're a responsible person, you should have no problem using credit cards to your advantage. Pretty much what credit cards allow you to do is to maximize your money. You're essentially spending your cash money where traditionally, if you didn't use a credit card, you get nothing for it. But if you use a credit card, you get 1%, 2% cash back, sometimes even bonuses too. Also, credit cards have protection against fraud if you guys get scammed on the internet. All the spending money that I have, I use a credit card for, and I just simply pay that balance at the end of each night or at the end of each week or whenever I can. And I do not have to pay the interest that it says on the credit card statement unless, you're late. So don't be scared about that interest rate. Just pay it off on time. Something that I learned from the book about credit cards is if a credit card company is having a promo or bonus, if you spend this amount of money, you get this amount of money back. If you guys aren't already going to spend that money, or if you guys don't have the money in your account, your debit account, already, do not spend it. You're gonna put yourself in a financial bind because you guys are gonna spend more than you actually have. You're gonna end up in debt, and you're gonna have to pay the credit card company back interest, which is gonna hurt your credit. So don't do that. That was a really good tip that I learned from the book. Next thing is retirement. Now in the military, we have a TSP. Civilian, you guys have like a 401k. On the TSP website, there's multiple funds that you guys can put your money into. I put my money into the S and C fund. I put 75% of my money into the C fund, and I put 25% of my money into the S fund. Why do I do that? Essentially, your money grows more with the C and S fund. That's basically it. Also, I put 10% of my paycheck into my TSP. So 5% goes into my Roth and 5% goes into my traditional. Why do I do that, you ask? At the time of this video, the government matches up to 5% of the money that you put into it. And so essentially, I'm doubling my money for free. What is a Roth and what is traditional, you say? After reading the book, I learned the differences between a Roth IRA and a traditional retirement account. Roth IRA, you essentially get taxed when you put your money into it. So when you go to collect it, you get all that money that it says. Whereas traditional, you get taxed when you want to take that money out. Roth is usually for people who think they're going to be in a higher tax bracket when they retire, and traditional is usually for people who think they'd be in a lower tax bracket when they go to collect their money. I cannot stress this enough though. Save for your retirement. You are not going to have the same energy or the capacity to make the amount of money that you will be able to make in your 20s, 30s, or 40s or 50s. So make sure you guys are thinking about retirement, because you guys do not want to be homeless at the age of 60 because you didn't set aside any money for your retirement. Just set a percentage and forget about it. Do not touch it until it's time to retire. Buying a car. Personally, I'm not a big fan of depreciation and paying interest rates, especially for a car that I really don't enjoy driving. So if you're in the military, you don't want to be spending your entire contract paying off a vehicle, because you could be using that money going towards your car note to invest your money and double it, triple it, quadruple it, and buy an even nicer car by the time you get out. Right now, I'm not really focused on having nice things right now. I'm focusing on grinding and stacking my bread as much as possible for when I get out, maybe at the age of 23, 25. Either way, I'm still gonna be in my 20s. I'm still gonna have a nice car and I'm still gonna be young. But more importantly, I'm gonna be financially free and also having all that nice stuff, you feel me? So put in the work now, struggle, not even struggle really. So I personally buy used cars outright, so I don't have to pay a car note every month, and I just invest the money that I will be using towards that car note. And then also, I'm kind of good with cars, so if there's a problem, I can fix it myself. So yeah, that's what I do. Those of you that do end up getting a car note or taking out a car loan, Sergeant Cortez recommends that you guys shop around different banks, different dealerships. Not only this is going to ensure that you get the best rate possible, because one, the banks are going to compete with each other for your business, so that's a plus. But also, if you guys are looking for a car, do not feel like you're limited to just your area outside of Post. You guys can look in other states as well. And I cannot stress that enough, because the dealerships outside of Post directly are gonna rip you off, because they know soldiers are looking for cars. The last way I manage my money is having a good mindset towards money. I view money as a tool to increase my wealth. And unfortunately, we live in a society where if you don't have any money, you're kind of effed. So you have to have an abundance mindset. Don't say things like I have to save money. Say things like I have to allocate money, because the word save is like a negative connotation to it. For example, I don't say I can't afford this. I say, how can I make more money to afford this? You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. Manifest, have an abundance mindset. Money equals freedom. Also, it's important to know, guys, that wealth is not an overnight thing. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Don't expect to get rich overnight. You have to save your money and invest it gradually, snowball it into more and more money. Delayed gratification is also really good. Do not put yourself in a financial hole or burden if you do not have to. If you're a high school student and you don't have any debt, do not put yourself into any unnecessary debt by buying an expensive car that you don't really need when you can just buy a beater, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. You're 20, you're 19, you're 17. Nobody expects you to have a nice car. If you're trying to buy a nice car to get women, those aren't the women that you want. And if you can't get women without a car, bro, I'm sorry. It's not the car. You got to work on something else, my boy. My boy, you feel me? Once again, if you want to learn more about these topics, a great place to start is A Boots Guide to Financial Basics by Sergeant CONRAD Cortez. If you guys want to contact him, I will have his Instagram and the book in the description below. How do you manage your money?